Welcome back. Let's now turn our attention to the third big story that we are getting you. Civic apathy continuing to claim lives. Year after year, thousands have lost their lives because of crumbling infrastructure and bad roads. In fact, just look at the numbers. From 2016 to 2020, every single year, about 2,300 people on average have lost their lives. That makes it a total of 11,500 lives that have been lost because of bad roads, because of potholes. From Maharashtra to Tamil Nadu to Karnataka, it's the same story across states. Time and again, we've seen complete apathy from authorities on this issue. From the Supreme Court to the High Courts, this issue has been flagged off on multiple occasions. Now, the latest to pull up the union government over indifference to potholes is the Kerala High Court. The court has directed that every crash caused due to potholes will now have to be explained by collectors. Meanwhile, the National Highways Authority is planning to launch an online system and a mobile app which will enable users to report potholes. But the larger question here is how long before this issue is actually taken seriously? How many more lives have to be lost? Let me welcome our panel who's joining us to discuss this. Mohan, Krishna, spokesperson of the BJP, Aiyshwarya Mahadev, spokesperson of the Congress, and Shailesh Gandhi, former CIC. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. And a quick word to our viewers, our phone lines are also open. The number is flashing on your screen, so do call in with your views as well. Let me, in fact, start off with Shailesh Gandhi here. Mr. Gandhi, the question really is, time and again, we've seen this issue cropping up from different states. So there is no, one state which is only that is being focused on. Across states, we've seen people who have lost lives due to potholes. Where in Karnataka, we've seen time and again deadlines being extended. In Maharashtra as well, we see again and again the same situation. In fact, Tamil Nadu as well. What is your perspective on why this is happening and why is nobody taking this seriously?
This has become an annual feature on all news programs across the nation. But there is a solution available, and I'd like to focus more on the solution. It's disastrous the way things are happening. People are losing lives, fuel consumption is more, pollution increases, vehicles have breakdowns, the traffic is slow, so everybody wastes time on the road. The solution I'm suggesting is all roads in each city and across should be available on the websites with details of when it was constructed, what is the guarantee period, who's the contractor, when is it repaired. If this was available across the nation for all roads, I think citizens would act as vigilance monitors. The government agencies are unable to do it or unwilling to do it because of corruption, lethargy, carelessness, whatever. I think this transparency would go a long way in resolving this. And also I would submit one other suggestion somebody gave for cities is that the names of roads should be the names of the contractors. That way maybe some shame would come about and things may improve. Internationally, roads don't get into potholes like this. We are building roads and are today ashamed to have these roads. But the truth is, the contractors are not held to account. The contractors must be held to account, and this will be held to account if citizens can report and monitor what is happening.
Right. Yes, absolutely. But Mohan, Krishna, the question really is, that time and again we're seeing this and we keep getting promises that this will be taken care of, but it does not happen.
Good evening, Avni Raja. I appreciate Mr. Shailesh Gandhi's suggestions, and the government is keen on taking care of the suggestions of the people. Because BJP is an aspirational party, we want to take care of the aspirations of the people. That's our aim. Apart from this, I would like to mention 2-3 things here. Mr. Bommai, Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, he wanted to find a definite solution and a long-term solution for these potholes. For that matter, he had a series of discussions with the BBMP officials. And I appreciate Mr. Tushar Girinath, who is the new BBMP commissioner now in Bangalore. He's working hard right from morning till night to fix the problems of the civic apathies in Karnataka, especially in Bangalore. And he is taking care of things in a much faster way. If I just go back to your slide, what you were showing there, Between 2016 and 2020, that was the figure what you are showing. It has been reduced drastically. The figures have been reduced drastically. The death rate, as well as it is almost 50% down. And we should bring it to zero. That is what is the aim. For that matter, the BBMP has tied up with the American company Python, and we have a permanent solution now. Whenever, because see, Bangalore is getting incessant rains, which is causing a difficult to lots of people in Bangalore. As a master plan, now we have tied up with Python. We would have filled up all these potholes by now. Unfortunately, there was some pricing issue with the Python company. Now that has been solved out, and it will be solved in a couple of days, and they will start the work. This will not be for one time. Please remember, this is ongoing one. Whenever the road work happens, and whenever some potholes are there, as Mr. Shailesh Gandhi was suggesting, on the website there will be roads, which road has got potholes and everything. People can send photographs and everything. That kind of app will be developed. And that is the future plan for the Bangalore. And it is not a future
Mr. Mohan
plan.
Krishna, you are, pointing out future plan for for Bangalore and future, and saying that we've tied up with this one and that one. But the point is, Bangalore
not this one,
especially.
It is Python.
No, the point is specifically in Bangalore, there have been so many instances, so many times where the deadline for the potholes to be fixed has been extended, and every time there is a pothole death, there is an issue with regard to potholes. This is the same thing that we hear again and again.
Avni Raja, let me tell you, when High Court first said 3 months back, we have fixed from 1,46,000 to 6,000. We have brought it to 6,000. Again, due to monsoon rains, again, the things have gone bad. See, I was also talking to people in Bangalore in BBMP that we should fix this issue by talking to National Highway Authority, NHAI, and we should bring new technology for road building in Bangalore. Actually, road constructions in Bangalore is in such a way for 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs as per the old census. Now the vehicles, it is running is in excess in 3 to 4 times more than that. That's one reason. Second thing is there was no coordination. Now that has been sorted out. Now the smart city work is also going on. Because of that also, some inconveniences, more inconveniences are happening. Let me assure you, in next week or sometime, within 15 days or sometime, the work will start, and it will be a regular one. And you can, whenever the pothole is there, immediately the problem will be solved. It is not going to be like, we'll try to fix it, we will go to the court. I appreciate High Court giving directions on this issue, like saying that how many days they require. They have taken execution. Judiciary is very intelligent, we know very well, and execution and executive body has to consider the intelligence of the judiciary. At the same time, we have to understand the monsoon, which was very heavy in Bangalore. Mr. Shailesh Gandhi, I think he is from Bangalore. He can also acknowledge that this Bangalore potholes, again, it has become a menace now because of the rains. And we are going to fix it. Let me assure you, I have told you before, 3-4 months back, when I came to your show, I had promised you that we are going to fix up the issue, and the solution has been found now, and we are going to fix up in a regular way, and we are not going to see this kind of potholes and everything.
All right. Okay, Aiyshwarya Mahadev, your view here, because obviously this is an issue which is there statewide. Various states face the same issue, and various state governments we have not seen step up and fix this problem.
Good evening, Avni. I think first and foremost, I most definitely do not envy Mr. Mohan Krishna for the position that his party and his government. I did not interrupt you, so I hope you can maintain the same courtesy for your long dive.
Always.
Mr. Krishna, let Aishwarya speak, please. Yes, please go ahead.
I didn't interrupt in your entire, I don't know how many minute long lecture, right? So, Avni, the singular fact remains that it's very disappointing. I
Mr.
will
Mohan
not
Krishna,
talk
Mr. Mohan Krishna, request you to please, let Aishwarya finish what she's saying and then we can come back to you. Please go ahead.
Of course, decorum is lost. But Avni, let's make one thing clear. The number of urban debates Mr. Mohan Krishna and I have been on, where Mr. Mohan Krishna has assured us in the 15 days from now and this and that, things will be different.
Not 15 days, I said 6 months.
Mr. Mohan Krishna, I did not interrupt you even once. I hope you
But
have
you
the same
should not
courtesy.
lie. You should not
Do
lie.
not
Try to
interrupt.
understand.
Excuse me, you can play back the previous reels. You can play back previous urban debates.
No,
I
you
can
can
take
see.
All right,
months
Mr. Mohan Krishna, I will give you a chance to respond to whatever she's saying. If she's saying something incorrect, you can correct it, but let her finish speaking first.
Avni,
Please go ahead.
And mute him.
Aishwarya, please go ahead.
It is not nice to have somebody's, obviously train of thought being interrupted by somebody trying to disrupt what is happening. So, Avni, the singular fact remains that this High Court has hauled up the government several times. Mr. Bommai has made these 15-day, 10-day promises saying all potholes will be covered. And for all those assurances and the false lies you've gotten over time, if each one of them was covering a pothole, Bangalore would have roads completely paved over with no problem. And the fact of the matter is, when he says, the rains have been incessant, which is why there's damage, also is him accepting to the fact that there is bad quality work that is happening. Let me tell you the reality of Karnataka today. You have had 3 BBMP commissioners being changed in the span of the BJP government. You've seen allegations of corruption from the Contractors Association itself. You saw a bridge in Sadashiva Nagar to the tune of how many ever 1,000 crores being built, and within a week has been shut down because the quality of work is so bad that not only people who are traveling over it, but authorities say it is unsafe to travel over the steel bridge, and that is the reality in Karnataka today. You see potholes that have taken lives of a young girl who was supposed to get married and her father. You see buses that have, rammed into metro poles in order to avoid potholes. And you see the government time and time again saying we're going to fix it, and then contract with obviously these foreign firms, which he talks about, which actually took them to court to litigate for the fact that they could not arrive at a price that was appropriate. Then you also have the High Court that gives them deadlines and says we'll hold you in contempt, but the government has absolutely no fear whatsoever of any action to be taken. And the reality today is Mohan Krishna can come here and sit and assure us and very nicely, timidly tell us, oh, I will give you this assurance. But he's been giving you these assurances for the past 6 months, actually even longer, because 10 days after Mr. Bommai took office was when he first promised that in 2 weeks, all the potholes will be cleared. Recently, they tried to celebrate 1 year of Mr. Bommai, instability apart, and you see that the potholes are still an issue. There is a systemic problem with non-accountability of the BBMP, contractors, and the government not ensuring that there's enough fear to ensure that whoever you contract out to, does a good job, and you can hold them accountable when it's not done.
Aishwarya, I'm going to interrupt you there because we have a caller, but I also want to mention that this issue of potholes is not just limited to this government. When Congress was in power in Karnataka, we have reported time and again pothole deaths. When the MVA was in power in Maharashtra, time and again there have been pothole deaths. So it is not a question of only blaming the government in power. All governments have been responsible for the situation that we are in today. But let me go across